If you're going on listing appointments and you're walking out without a signed listing agreement, you need to hear this. The problem is not the seller, it's not the market, it's not your experience. The problem is what happens when the seller gives you an objection and you don't know what to say. Your mind goes blank and you hesitate. And when you hesitate, they hesitate. And there goes your commission check right out the door. I've been on thousands of listing appointments, literally thousands, for sale by owners, expired listings, canceled listings. And I've heard every objection more times than I even want to think about. And here's what I can tell you. The agents who dominate their market, they don't hear fewer objections. They hear the same ones you hear. The difference is they know exactly what to say. They don't freeze. They don't hesitate. They handle it and they get the seller's signature. That's what I'm gonna give you today. The top 10 listing presentation objections and the exact words to say when you hear them. Not theory, not concepts, the exact dialogue so you know how to respond. But before we get into the 10 objections, please write this down. There are 6 steps to handling objections at the listing appointment. You follow these 6 steps and you can handle anything they throw at you. Step 1, listen intently. Don't be in your head thinking about what you're gonna say next while they're speaking. Just listen. Step 2, repeat and approve. Make them feel heard, because people don't listen to you until they feel like you've listened to them. Step 3, level shift. This is reframing the conversation to what really matters to them. Step 4, isolate the objection to make sure this is the last question before signing. Step 5, handle the objection. Step 6, ask them to sign. And here's the most important thing I'm going to say to you in this entire video. Write this down. After you handle every single objection, you close, you ask for the signature. That is the last step in handling objections every single time, and you cannot skip it. You don't want to sit there waiting for them to give you another objection. So always handle it and close. I want to tell you a quick story so you understand why this matters so much. Because I wasn't always good at this. When I was new, a seller would give me an objection and I'm in my head thinking, oh shoot, what am I gonna do now? I had no clue what to say. And early in my career, I lost a lot of listings because I took no for an answer too easily. Sellers would say, I have to think about it. And I'm, okay, well, I'll give you a call in a couple of days. And then I'd see the house listed with another agent. The pain of watching other agents take listings that I walked away from, that changed me. I went on an expired listing appointment once, and it was a lady and her husband. Her husband was ill and they were moving out of state. They had to sell their condo. When I set the appointment, she told me flat out on the phone, I'm not signing anything today. And you know what I did? I believed her. I went on that appointment and I didn't ask her to sign. I went through my entire presentation, never asked for the signature because she convinced me that it wasn't going to happen. Guess what? At the end of my presentation, she looked at me and said, okay, I want to list with you. Where do I sign? And I was not prepared. I didn't even have the listing agreement filled out like I always did. I was scrambling. I took the listing and it sold, but I made a promise to myself that day that I would never let that happen to me again. I don't care what they tell me on the phone. I don't care what objections they throw at me. I am closing every single time. And that is exactly what I'm gonna help you do right now. Let's get into it. First objection. I want to think about it. Give me a day or two. We need to sleep on it. Call me tomorrow. Here's what's interesting about this objection. I want to think about it is not the real objection. It's a smokescreen. The question is, what is it that they want to think about? You can't handle an objection you don't understand. So your job right now is to dig, to find out what's really going on. First thing you do, acknowledge and validate. Mr. Seller, I completely understand. Obviously, the agent you list your property with is a very important decision, and your home is one of your biggest assets. And you want to make sure that you put it in the hands of the best agent possible, right? And Mr. Seller, I'm curious because we covered a lot of information during our meeting today. What exactly do you need to think about? And just like that, because very often they'll tell you it's the price, or another agent said they could do it for a lower commission, or they could list at a higher price, or whatever it is. Now you know exactly what you need to handle. But if they say something vague like, well, nothing specific, we just need to talk about it and make sure, then you say this. Mr. Seller, the reason I ask is, when you think about it, there are 3 parts to this decision. The first part is your motivation to sell this property. And based on everything that we talked about today, it sounds like you're definitely going to sell this home, right? There you got it. Motivation is confirmed. The second part of this decision, Mr. Seller, is the agent that you're going to hire. And based on everything that I showed you today, do you feel confident that I can do a great job for you and get this property sold? If you made a great presentation, the answer will be yes. If they say, well, I'm not sure, something was lacking in your presentation, and you're going to have to ask questions and figure out what it is so you can fix it, you can clarify it, you could answer their questions. And part 3 of the decision is the price. Obviously, every seller wants to sell their home for the most money possible. And Mr. Seller, let me ask you, when we looked at the market analysis together, we talked about the current market conditions. Do you feel good about the price that we agreed upon? And there you have it. Bottom line, it's either their motivation, which it shouldn't be, because otherwise you wouldn't be there if they didn't want to sell. It's the agent, which could be commission or a number of things, or it's the price. If you get a yes to all 3, let's say you go through the 3 and they just say, no, the price is good. Yeah, I believe you could sell it. Yeah, I'm definitely moving. Sometimes sellers just need a little nudge. This is, talking to you now, a very important decision. So the little nudge is, Mr. Seller, sounds like your decision has already been made. Let's go ahead and get the paperwork signed so I can go to work and get this property sold for you. I just need your signature right here. Hand them the pen, point to the signature line, nod yes, and just be quiet, okay? Let them pick up the pen and sign the contract. If one of those 3 is a no or I'm not sure, now you know exactly what you need to handle instead of just dealing with a vague smoke screen. Objection number 2, we're going to interview other agents. This is a very common objection with FSBOs and expireds because obviously they're getting a lot of calls from agents. By the way, there are ways to prevent this objection before you even get it, and you prevent it by pre-qualifying the appointment. I have another video on my channel on that. So after we're finished with this one, you can go find it. Right now, I'm just going to show you what to do if you get it. So when they say they're going to interview other agents, first thing you always do is repeat and approve. Mr. Seller, I hear what you're saying, and I respect the fact that you're thinking that it might be a good idea to get another opinion, because in the end, it's not so much about speaking with several agents, it's about finding that one agent that you feel confident can get this property sold for you, right? And Mr. Seller, based on everything that we discussed today, do you feel confident that I can get that done for you? Sounds like your decision has already been made. Let's just get the paperwork signed so I can go to work and get this property sold for you. I just need your signature right here. If they still hesitate because they feel bad about canceling on the other agents, offer to make the calls and cancel the appointments for them. Let them know this happens all the time. And the agents may actually appreciate it because they're going to save hours in preparation and meeting with them just so that they could end up listing with you anyway. I'll take care of that for you, Mr. Seller. Let's just get the paperwork signed so I can go to work and get this property sold for you so we can get you to Dallas in the next 3 months. I have 8 more objections to cover, and I promise you every single one of them is going to come up at some point in your career. So don't go anywhere. Here's number 3. I want to list it at a higher price. This is obviously a pricing objection. By the time you ask them to sign the contract, you already went through the market analysis with them. You already explained to them what the market conditions are, supply and demand, how many homes are selling every single month. But if they still say they want to list it at a higher price, you say something like this: Mr. Seller, I can understand because obviously you want to sell your home for the most money possible, right? And may I share with you, Mr. Seller, why pricing it higher would not be in your best interest. See, Mr. Seller, historically, your property is going to have the most activity in the first 2 weeks after we list it. That's when every buyer is seeing your home for the first time. That's when you get the most showings and the most interest and the most offers. If we price it higher during this critical period, right in the beginning, you may not get an offer. And certainly, we could lower the price 2 or 3 weeks from now. The problem that creates for you, Mr. Seller, is that the longer your home sits on the market, the bigger the gap between the list price and the sales price, because buyers naturally start to wonder, what's wrong with this property? Why has it been sitting on the market for 30, 60, 90 days and nobody's bought it? And all of a sudden, buyers start to wonder if there's something wrong with your beautiful home. And if they're interested, they usually make low offers. Now, Mr. Seller, again, obviously you want to sell your home for the most money possible. And if we price it correctly from the beginning, or even slightly under market, you're going to get a lot of initial activity and you may end up even getting multiple offers. It's a supply and demand conversation. When your home is priced right, buyers are going to see it. They're going to compare it with other homes they've looked at and say, wow, this home looks like a great deal. And that's how we get a lot of activity. Now, I can't promise you multiple offers, Mr. Seller, but the more activity we generate right in the beginning, the higher the price you'll be able to sell it for. So let's go ahead and do the right thing and price it at $499,000 so we can sell your home quickly and for the most money possible. I just need your signature right here. Number 4, can you cut your commission? I love this objection. Please write this down. Commission is a mindset. And in the absence of value, commission becomes an issue. I'm going to say that again. In the absence of value, commission becomes an issue. When the seller sees the value in what you do, they pay. People pay for perceived value. If they don't see the value, commission is the first thing they go after. Sometimes they see the value and they know you're worth every penny of the commission you charge. But they talk to another agent that charges less and they figure, it doesn't hurt to ask. So your first response when they ask about cutting commission is, my commission is blank. All we need is your signature right here so we can get your property sold. That's it, okay? You're not going to handle anything. You're just going to tell them what it is because they may just be asking to ask. That happened to me so many times on appointments. I just say it and they go, okay, and they pick up the pen and sign. Now, if they don't sign and they say, well, another agent said they could do it for less, here's your response. Mr. Seller, can I share with you why listing with a discount agent can actually end up costing you money? See, Mr. Seller, the agent that you hire will be negotiating on your behalf. That agent will be speaking with buyers and buyers' agents who are representing the buyers, and you're not going to be present in those conversations. Now, Mr. Seller, think about this with me. If these agents don't even have the courage to defend their own commission, how strong can they possibly be defending you and the price that we set on your home? This is a very powerful objection handler, and make sure that you use the body language that makes sense, right? When you're saying, you can watch the video again and you see how I did it. Here's a quote that I love, and I want you to write this down and embody this mindset. If you think that hiring a professional is expensive, wait until you hire an amateur. Mr. Seller, let's get this done right. I just need your signature right here so we can get your home sold quickly and for the most money possible. That is what you're looking to do, isn't it? Ask them to sign. Commission is a confidence game, and the most confident wins. You need to believe in your value. Again, if you don't believe it, they're not going to believe it. You have to believe it first. I made a decision early in my career that I am not going to allow a seller who has no real estate experience to be more confident than I am. Think about that. If that happens, I used to think to myself, then I don't deserve the listing. Here's number 5. What do you do differently from other agents? Mr. Seller, that is a great question because ultimately there's so many agents out there and you want to make sure that you're hiring the one that's actually gonna get your property sold, right? And Mr. Seller, 99.9% of agents, they take your listing, they put it in the multiple listing service, they put it on hundreds of websites, maybe they'll do an open house, and that's it. They sit around for the next 6 months hoping and praying that your house would sell. I, on the other hand, Mr. Seller, I am an active and aggressive agent. Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 12 p.m., I am talking to 40 to 50 people a day about buying and selling real estate. You and I both know there's a buyer for your house out there, and my job is to go find them. That's what you would expect an agent to do for you, isn't it? And they're gonna say yes. Let's do the right thing, get the paperwork signed so we can get this property sold for you. And when you say that, you're always handing them the pen, giving them the contract, pointing to the signature line, okay? By the way, I remember sellers looking at me like I was an alien when I told them that I make calls every single day, because obviously agents don't do that. They never heard that before. They're like, who are you? What's going on here? And I am telling you, this is what separates you from everyone else out there. That's your competitive edge. Now, real quick, if you're watching this and you're thinking, Jackie, I need all of these scripts so I can practice them, you can download my script book for free. Every script that I used, every script you could imagine, it's there. So find the link in the description, okay? Let's keep going. Objection number 6. I'm thinking of listing with the neighborhood specialist. Mr. Seller, I completely understand, because you're thinking, well, this is a neighborhood specialist and maybe they have more buyers for properties in my neighborhood, and that's going to benefit me, right? And can I tell you why, Mr. Seller, listing with a neighborhood specialist can actually be one of the worst decisions you can make? You see, because a neighborhood specialist, Mr. Seller, yes, they're going to attract buyers for this neighborhood. And I want you to think about this with me, Mr. Seller. If you're a buyer and you have already made a decision that you're going to buy a home in this neighborhood, would you only want to look at the listings that are listed with the neighborhood specialist, or would you want to see all of the properties that are available in your price range? The obvious answer is, well, I want to see all of them. Exactly. So see, Mr. Seller, the advantage of working with an agent like myself is the fact that I don't specialize in your neighborhood. I specialize in selling homes everywhere in our area. So I am working with buyers and attracting buyers that may be looking at other homes 30 minutes away from your property, and they don't even know your neighborhood exists. So they call me on another listing that's maybe 30 minutes away, and if that property doesn't fit their criteria, I say, oh, I have the perfect home for you in a beautiful area, and that could end up being the right buyer for your property. This is called cross-selling, and I do it all the time, Mr. Seller. So as you can see, working with a neighborhood specialist will limit your exposure, and that could end up causing your home to sell for less money. So let's get this done right. Put me to work for you so we can get you to Dallas in the next 3 months. Objection number 7. Another agent said that they could sell it for more money. That is very common, Mr. Seller. Can I share with you why? Some agents would actually tell you that they can sell your property for a higher price, knowing full well that that's not going to happen. And the reason they do that is because listings are the best source of buyer leads for real estate agents. Having your listing, no matter at what price, is going to attract buyers that they can sell other properties to. And they know your property is not going to sell, but they're using your listing as bait to attract buyers and then sell them other properties. The last thing you want to do is waste your time helping other agents get buyers, right? I can assure you, Mr. Seller, if there was any possibility to get your home sold for a higher price, I'd be the first agent to want to do that for you. And if I can't sell it for that price, no one can. Number 8, I'm going to make some repairs before listing the house. This one drives me crazy, but here's how you're going to handle it. Mr. Seller, I completely understand. Obviously, you want your home to look as good as possible, and first impressions are important, right? Let me ask you this, Mr. Seller. If a buyer walked into your home today and they wanted to buy it in the exact condition that it's in, would you sell it to them? And the answer is obviously going to be yes, absolutely, Mr. Seller. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and get your home on the market immediately while you start making these repairs. That way, we're opening it up to buyers that are looking at properties in your area right now. And if we get an offer that you're happy with, great. We can just get it done. Let's go ahead and get the paperwork signed so I can go to work for you. Number 9, have you sold homes in my area? Obviously, if you have, amazing. Just tell them. If you have not, this is similar to the neighborhood specialist. What they're really saying is, I'm not so confident that you can sell my house. So go back and rewind to the neighborhood specialist, because you're going to handle it almost the same way. Mr. Seller, That is a great question. And I would imagine you're asking me that because it's important for you to hire an agent that knows the area, knows what they're doing, and will be able to get your property sold, right? And Mr. Seller, I don't specialize in your area, and I am confident that I am the best agent to get this property sold for you, because here's how I work. I'm on the phone every single day speaking to 30 and 40 people a day about buying and selling real estate, and I sell homes all over our area. I may get a call on a property that I listed 20 minutes away from here, and the buyer may say, this home is not exactly what I'm looking for. And I say, actually, I have the perfect home for you over in this area. And just like that, I bring a buyer to your home that was looking 20 minutes away, and that may end up being the perfect buyer for your home. That's the advantage, Mr. Seller, of working with an agent like myself that sells homes everywhere. So let's get the paperwork signed so I can go to work for you. And number 10, how long have you been in real estate? If they ask you this question, something you've said or did not say is causing them to question whether your experience is enough. They're hesitant, they're feeling uneasy. So you have to take responsibility for that, figure out what it is, and recover from it. The better your presentation is, the less they're going to question you. Even if this is your first listing appointment, if you show up and present confidently, you're going to avoid this objection. But if you get this objection and you've been in real estate for a long time, great, then just tell them. But if you are brand new, maybe this is just the first appointment you go on, you're gonna tell them the truth. Mr. Seller, I've been in real estate for a few months, and although I am new, I'm hungry, Mr. Seller. I am a hard worker, and I'm going to work every single day to find the buyer for your property. And the fact that I'm new is actually an advantage because I don't have 10 or 20 listings. And that means that I'm gonna put all of my time, energy, and focus in finding the buyer for your property. And I am confident that I am the best agent in this market to get this property sold for you. When you deliver this with confidence and excitement, they get excited and they go, okay, where do I sign? And I want to leave you with one more thing because it might be the most important thing I'm going to say to you in this entire video. When I was selling real estate, I called a canceled listing, and the lady told me that her brother-in-law was an appraiser and he recommended an agent they should list with that sold a lot of homes in her area, and that agent was coming over that same day at 6 p.m. to sign the agreement. This was a very motivated seller. Husband and wife, they were moving out of town and they wanted to sell fast. I asked her the name of that agent. Oh, I'm just curious, who is the agent? She told me who the agent was. And I stayed on the phone with this lady for 15, 20 minutes. I could not get the appointment. In the end, she said to me, well, I have to speak with my husband. This agent is coming already today at 6 o'clock. And let me give you a call back. I'll call you within an hour. Well, she didn't. So I decided, since she told me she's listing with this neighborhood specialist that sold a lot of homes in her area, I thought I'm going to go in the multiple listing and I'm going to look up this agent. Let me see how many homes this agent sold in her area in the last 12 months. That agent had sold maybe 2 or 3 properties, and I had sold several homes in her area over the years. Now, let me tell you one of the most important things you're gonna hear in this video. I showed you every time that I gave you the objection handlers how at the end you always ask them to sign the contract. This is critically important because the moment you walk out the door, if you don't have a signed agreement, sure, you can follow up. You can come back and get a signature later, but your chances go down dramatically. So an objection is not a rejection. It's an opportunity. And you handle it and always ask them to sign. So use all of the objection handlers that you learned today and go take a lot of listings out there. And remember, all of the scripts that I shared with you and every other script you need as a great listing agent is in my free script book that you can download by clicking the link in the description. So leave your comment, questions below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.